that person who he's referring to believes in blackmail and believes in lies and believes in using propaganda against the person that she's running against, who is going to help make this country great again. And Hillary Clinton, for the record, just like our Mayor Bill de Blasio, and this is very important, and I'll get right into it. We have people right now representing us who do not represent our values, starting with the mayor of the city of New York and going into Hillary Clinton and going into the way that they say and do things and feel as if they can do what they want to do and they're going to get away with it because they feel the majority of people are going to go along with them and not go along with the person who they're making up stories about. We have to be very careful this year when we go to vote on who we're voting for, and you have to all make sure that when you do go to the voting booth this year, you make sure that you vote for the person who's going to represent your values, the person who's going to fight for you, the person who's going to make sure that other countries, such as Iran, such as Syria, and North Korea, are not going to come in and take advantage of us. The President of the United States made a deal with Iran where they gave them $150 billion and gave them the ability at some point in time, which they claim they won't, to create a nuclear weapon. And Iran, right before they got their money, took American hostages on a boat in the Persian Gulf. Okay? That was the perfect opportunity for him to say, guess what, the deal is off. But he didn't. And then he gave another $400 million, which was considered interest, but it was ransom. It was money they paid to release other Americans. This is how our president has been operating. And we've become weaker as a result. And we cannot afford, in any way, shape, or form, and it's whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, you have to look at the person who's running for president. And you have to look at the person who's telling you what he's going to do and how he's going to protect us and how he's going to help us better financially. We are losing when it comes to jobs. We are losing when it comes to our military. We are losing when it comes to all aspects of anything that we deal with in this country, and we have to put a stop to it. And if Hillary Clinton is elected as the next president, you're getting a third term of Obama. And I don't think any of you want that. You have to be very, very careful in listening to what she says. They claim that Donald Trump has taken money illegally here and there. They claim all these different things, yet the Clinton Foundation has taken money from the Chinese government, from the Russian government, from the Saudi Arabian government. Now, there was a bill that President Obama tried to stop, which was overturned in Congress, which 9/11 victims had the ability, and they do have the ability now, to sue the Saudi Arabian government as a result of what happened on 9/11. Osama bin Laden was a Saudi. The president tried to veto that bill. The Congress turned around and said, no, these people have a right to do that. We have a president who is not looking out for this country the way we need it to be looked out for. And that trickles down to what happens in the city. We have a mayor who I'm working with the people of Maspeth right now, and I'm working in other areas such as Rockaway to fight the disastrous things he is doing on a day-to-day basis, starting with homeless shelters. Okay? The mayor wants to put a homeless shelter. The one here on Cooper Avenue is not a dead deal. It was in the courts, but as far as he's concerned, if that court battle ends and there's nothing left to do, he still wants to put it there. But he's going to get a fight. In Maspeth, he's looking to put homeless people in hotels. Okay? And he claims that people of Maspeth, don't care about the homeless. That's not true. That's his Hillary Clinton tactic. What we're saying is there should be better solutions for people who have mental illness, people who have drug addictions, and people who have young kids who can't afford a place to live. There are things that can be done. Number one, the city has 1,100 properties that it owns throughout the city that they could use for affordable housing to help put people in homes who need it. Number two, this state is known as a non-resident state, which means you can come here from any state, Florida, California, Texas. Once you hit New York, you're eligible for homeless services here on our dime, on our tax dollars. I prepared to propose legislation, or agree to legislation if I'm elected, to make New York what's called a resident-only state. which means that only our residents would be eligible to receive homeless services. This would drop the homeless rate down between 15 and 20%. In addition to that, there's one class of people that nobody recognizes, and they should be recognizing when it comes to homeless issues, and that's our veterans. We have thousands and thousands of veterans who are homeless, and the mayor is worrying about the drug addicts and the criminals who come out of the system. Elizabeth Crowley signed a bill that allowed criminals who were here illegally, when they get out of jail, before the bill was signed, they used to get deported. Now, when they get out of jail, stay, join the homeless shelter system, stay in the area. This is what's called a sanctuary city. We cannot afford to have that in our area. Now, the other issue that's very important is that Mayor de Blasio has no respect for the borough of Queens at all. He knows that the people in Queens don't support him, so he turns around and uses it as his personal dumping ground. And he does not have any respect for Senator Dabo. He has no respect for Elizabeth Crowley. He has no respect for Marge Markey, who is no longer going to be running because she was defeated because the people of Maspeth made sure that their voice was heard. But they openly tell you, you can look at any news article, the mayor does not want to sit down with any of them. Why? Because he knows they're powerless. If I'm elected and I'm in the state senate, and I'm in the state majority conference, there are things in Queens, there are monies from this county, from this district, that would be required to the city council, through the mayor's budget, that have to go through me. And at that point, if he doesn't want to pick up the phone, or doesn't want to talk, it's going to hurt him in the pocketbook. And I will make sure, I've marched with the people of Maspeth to Commissioner Banks' house, and stood outside his house with a bullhorn, claiming we don't want any homeless shelters and we want solutions. And the mayor claimed that we harassed his family and we did all these things. Untrue. I marched with the people of Maspeth on a Saturday afternoon. 2,000 people, we marched throughout the neighborhood, because in order to get things done today, with a mayor like this, we have to speak up. Our voices have to be heard to let that man know that he is not going to dictate what goes on in our backyard. And if I'm elected as your next state senator, under my watch, he will not have that anymore. Whatever's going on now, there'll be a new day, there'll be a new gatekeeper, there'll be new rules. And moving on from that, when Elizabeth Crowley is up for re-election next year, we will make sure we put someone in to take her out, because she's done absolutely nothing. Nothing. They claim in the newspapers that they're against the homeless shelter, yet they have secret meetings in O'Neill's in Maspeth with the members of the mayor's administration about setting up security at the Holiday Inn while the people are out there protesting. That's unacceptable, because